Hello everyone. I hope my voice is audible to you all. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is India and the world. It is very useful for written examinations, and it will be useful for your interview, especially like SSB or group discussion or something like that. Okay. And if you are preparing for CAPF, it will be helpful for your essay topics also. Okay. So many people are going to join. Let us wait. So what is the motive? Why we have taken this India versus world? See, today the COVID virus. Okay, COVID virus has attacked all the nations. Near about 193 nations are under stress due to this. Economical crisis is all around the world. So WHO is in news. World Health Organization is in news. They are the one who is leading this fight against this coronavirus. Okay, so now what is this WHO? And when Donald Trump threatens WHO, what does it mean actually? Okay, what about the financial status? What happened to the UNICEF? Okay, what happened to the UNICEF when Donald Trump became the president of USA? Then what happened to Paris Agreement? So if you don't understand what is Paris Agreement, what is WHO, what is UNO, it is very difficult for you to attend any examination. If you see examinations like Group X, Group Y, Soldier General Duty, or for example like National Talent Search examinations, and then exams like CDS, whatever exams you see, they are definitely going to ask you the headquarters of each and every international organization. Okay, headquarters, it is very very important, and India plays a very important role in this. And there is a good news for all the people, Indian people here. 2022, from this year, India is going to be one of the non-permanent member, okay, non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council. United Nations Security Council. So what does it mean, United Nations Security Council? Why is it important? Will the war in Syria will be stopped? Okay, so what is the Syria? What is the problem with the terrorism? All these things you have to keep in mind. Last week there was a attack in Kabul. Kabul is capital of Afghanistan. Okay, when we are dealing with any topic, we here in Bangalore Defense Academy also teach history and geography to make your basics strong. If your basics is strong, you can easily crack any examinations, and if your communication skills is good, you will easily crack SSB. Okay, so this is why we are going to make this video specially for you. Okay, so let us see how many people are going to answer. If you have any doubt, you can just comment in the comment section. I'll be clearing this doubt immediately. Okay, so what happens here? What is this international organization? Why is it important? International organization. International organization. If you have your notebook and pen, you can start writing it. Okay, you can start writing all these things which I am going to tell you. It is very very important. You may not get in any textbook, because we have done meticulous work, gathered all the information from various sources, and we are going to present you today evening. So make use of this class as far as possible. International organization. Today in the world of internet, today in the world of internet, world is a global village. World is a global village. If you take an Indian village, we have something called panchayat. We have something called panchayat. For any problem or any development work to be carried out in the village, we have panchayat system, and that is how the villages are surviving in Indian democracy. In the same way, if you see, world is a global village, so we need to have some organization to strictly control us. And here, when it comes to world, there are more than 193 nations, different people, different language, different tradition, different culture, and there are a lot of there are a lot of challenges among each and every country to overcome it. So let us understand what is this international organization. You might have heard something called as United Nations Organization. Then you have heard something called as United Nations Security Council. Then you have something called as BRICS. Then you have something called as IBSA. Then you have SARC. Then you have ASEAN. These are all very very important. You have to keep all these things in mind. SARC, ASEAN, then you have BIMSTEC, then you have something called as IAEA. Okay, then we will be talking about various environmental pacts. Okay, like Kyoto Protocol, Montreal Protocol, then what is about Paris Agreement. Okay, all these things we are going to talk in detail. UNO, UNSC, all these things we are going to see in detail. Okay, fine. So to begin with, during World War One, okay, during World War One, this happened in the year 1914 to 1918. Franz Duke Ferdinand was assassinated. Franz Duke, yeah, Sudan, I'll correct it, don't worry. Okay, Franz Duke Ferdinand is assassinated, and this small incident makes the whole Europe burn into fire, and this is what the World War One it was happened. Now, World War One came into like a end after the Treaty of Versailles was signed. Treaty of Versailles. When Treaty of Versailles was signed, the World War One came to end. The world leaders all over the world, they decided not to have any other second war. Okay, second kind of world war. There shouldn't be any possibility. But the World War One was a disaster. Economically, it was a disaster, and this we can see in the year 1929. In 1929, all over the world, there was Great Depression, and this time, this depression is not a climatical phenomenon; it is a economic phenomenon. Banks all over the world, it failed. All over the world, like Europe, Western nations like America, Europe, the banks failed, and this led to Great Depression. This led to Great Depressions. So now what happened here is the turning point of the world. Making use of this opportunity, making use of this opportunity of this Great Depression, in Germany there was a party about to be started that is called as Nazi Party, and you very well know who started this Nazi Party. It was Hitler, and Hitler was favoritely called as Führer. Hitler was favoritely called as Führer. You have to keep these things in mind. Okay, now in some exams they will be asked you what is the nickname of Hitler, something like that. So that's why I have written you what is the nickname here, Führer. I'll write the spelling again, Fuhrer, Führer. Okay, and now this guy Hitler is coming into power in Germany, and now he is fighting for the Aryan supremacy, and he is telling for the political gains, for the purpose of political gains, he is instigating ideas among the common German citizens that World War One, the countries like England, America, and other nations have purposely put blame on Germany, and they have robbed all the opportunity of economic possibilities. So they have to pay for it, and this happens on 3rd of September 1939. This date is very, very important from Indian perspective also. In modern Indian history, there was a turning point on 3rd of September 1939. So here what happens, the World War Two started, and now this World War Two again divided among the two nations. On one side, it was Great Britain, then it was USA, then it was Russia. On the other side, if you see, it was Germany. Then Germany, you have Italy here, then you have Japan. Okay, Japan, these nations. Okay, now here it like France is also there. Okay, here France is also there. So what happened here now, in World War One there was a shocking news in 1917. Okay, in 1917 what happened, USSR, okay, or I can call it as shortly as Russia. This Russia was defeated by a very small nation, that is Japan. Okay, Japan defeated Russia or USSR during World War One, and this led to the Russian Revolution, that is called as Red Revolution or Bolshevik Revolution. Bolshevik Revolution. It was led by a great leader, and he is Lenin. And Lenin started a party called as Bolshevik Revolution. If you are preparing for any NDA examinations or NTSC National Talent Search examination, your syllabus is related to this Russian Revolution. They will ask you who started this Bolshevik Revolution, or what is called as Red Party, or what is called as October Revolution. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. So these were the lessons during the First World War. During First World War, this Japan has defeated Russia, and now in Second World War the things were a little different because now it was all war machines. Okay, this was all like war machines. For example, aeroplanes. Okay, for the first time, bombers were introduced, battle tanks were introduced. So aeroplanes and all these battle tanks, guns, all sophisticated instruments were used to attack the enemies by both these parties. Okay, so finally, what happens? There was an atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima. So here you have to keep in mind this is a special thing. 6th of August 1945. 6th of August 1945, you have a bomb dropped by Americans that is called as Hiroshima. Okay, Hiroshima, and this is called as nickname of this bomb was Little Boy. Okay, and then you have another bomb dropped after a gap of 3 days, that is 9th of August 1945, that is in a place called as Nagasaki, and this is called as the nickname of this Nagasaki bomb was called as Fat Man. And what was the reason that USA has dropped bomb and on Japan? Because USA wanted to avenge the incident of Pearl Harbor incident. Japan aeroplanes or the Japan Air Force have purposely bombarded and destroyed the Navy fleet of USA. So USA in the year 1940s. So USA took a lot of time for research and finally they dropped bomb, that is nuclear bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These are the important dates and these are the little facts you have to keep in mind. Okay. After this, Japan surrendered and World War II came to an end. So when Japan surrendered and World War II came to an end, on the other side, Hitler and other countries could not withstand the attack by the UK and the Allied forces. So now this is what the end of the world. Now after the end of the world, the leaders all over the world they came together and decided, let us have some international organization which will prevent any third world war, because the nuclear fight which will kill the whole humanity like that. Okay, so it was the American president, US president Theodore Roosevelt, sorry, Franklin Roosevelt, who coined the term United Nation, and this gave the birth for United Nation after the World War II. Now, under this United Nation, we are going to talk about various other organizations which fights for the unity and integrity of all the countries around the world. So, first we are going to talk about UNO, then we'll talk about United Nations Security Council, then your General Assembly, like that. Now, UNO, there are totally near about 193 nations today. The latest nation to join is South Sudan. South Sudan. Here what happened? Few years back, there is a country called as Sudan. Suppose if this is Africa, okay, suppose if this is Africa, here you have two countries. This is called as Sudan. Okay, this Sudan got divided into two. This is called as North Sudan and this is called as South Sudan. And this North Sudan, nowadays it is called as Sudan. Okay, the capital of Sudan is Khartoum. Countries and capital, definitely one question in all examination. So that's why you have to keep in mind. Khartoum is the capital of Sudan, and for South Sudan, the capital is Juba, Juba, and it is an African nation. This you have to keep in mind. And recently, current affairs, if you are a candidate preparing for SSB, that is SSB interview, you have to keep in mind from Sudan. From Sudan, there is a leader, the president of Sudan, that is Omar al Bashir. Omar al Bashir. He was the president of Sudan for many years. It is like almost 20 years, but there was a military coup and this led to the ousting of this Omar al-Bashir, and now he is in jail, and that is why there is trouble in South Sudan. But nowadays there is a democratic elections going to be taking place in Sudan. So this you have to keep in mind. Okay, so what we were talking about, the latest nation to join this UNO is South Sudan. Okay, fine. Now, how these things function, under it, you have something called a General Assembly. General Assembly means, suppose, suppose if this is assembly, all the nations will be sitting here, okay, and this is the stage, and each and every nations will, suppose Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he will represent India, and he will give some like speech like what is the current scenario between India and Pakistan, what is the problem between all in the world, what should we attend immediately, like that. So if you see here, Even the Syrian president will come and give a speech, or any Libyan president will come and give a speech, and American representatives will be sitting here. Okay, so in this way things go on. Now, this is called a general assembly. Now the question is, which language do they speak? Okay, which language do they speak? There are near about 6 official language in United Nation organization. Okay, United Nation organization, there are 6 official languages. This was formed on October 24, 1945. October 24, 1945. That's the reason why October 24 every year is called UNO Day. It is called as UNO Day. So your examination question will be October 24 is which day? Answer is UNO Day. Okay. So here we have some flag designing, like why we have different colors. Okay, why we have so many rings in that. Okay, so this is what you have to keep in mind. These are all basic question. You can read any GK or you can refer Wikipedia. Okay. Now coming to the next, you have very important thing that is called as UNSC. Okay, UNSC. The name, the full form is United Nation Security, United Nation Security Council. Understood? United Nation Security Council. Now what is this United Nations Security Council? It is regarding the peace. Okay, wherever you have heard the war in Iran. Okay, Iran, then Iraq. Okay, then you have some problem in Afghanistan some years back from 2001 till 2010. Okay, when see this you have to keep in mind, September 11, 2001. Okay, Taliban, that is Al Qaeda, Osama bin Laden attacked World Trade Center. Okay, Osama bin Laden attacked World Trade Center. So, in order to avenge this action, American forces, NATO forces, they invaded Afghanistan, and for near about a decade or 10 years, they were in Afghanistan, and many people they perished. So, till 2010, what happened? There was attack carried out by NATO forces. Now, who is taking this action? Whether it is Americans or whether it is some allied forces. So this is called as United Nations Security Forces, how they do it. Okay. Now, yeah, SARC and all I'll be explaining now. Keep watching it. Okay, keep watching it. I'll be telling you all the details. Now, United Nations Security Council, you have to keep in mind, there are total 15 nations. Okay, 15 nations. In these 15 nations, 10 nations are called as non-permanent nation. Okay, non-permanent nation. Okay, and 5 nations are called as permanent nation. Okay, 5 nations are called as permanent nation. These 5 nations are USA, UK, then you have France, then you have Russia, and then you have China. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 permanent nation. That means what? They have permanent seat. They are the permanent members of this United Nations Security Council. Now here there are 10 non-permanent nation. What is this 10 non-permanent nation means? Out of 193, 5 nations are already permanent nations. So the rest of the nations will get a chance to be a non-permanent nation and be a decision making body, whatever they are going to decide. So what is the criteria? First, there will be an election. Okay, there will be an election. Once if a country is elected as a non-permanent member, I'll repeat it again. Once if a country is elected as a non-permanent members, they will be here for maximum of 2 years. Okay, they will be here for maximum of 2 years. After 2 years, the immediate next year, they cannot stand for election again. They cannot stand for election again. So after a gap of 1 year, they can stand for election. So in this way, India has got a chance in 2022. They are going to be a member of non-permanent nation. They are going to be a member of non-permanent nation. And now why it is important? Because India is fighting for permanent seat in United Nations Security Council. India is saying that we want permanent seat in United Nations Security Council because we have never waged war in any other country. Okay, we have never waged any war. We have never attacked any country. So in this way. So if you see here, if India is demanding for permanent seat, then you have next nation that is called as Pakistan. Then you have next nation that is called as Japan. and then there is one more country, that is Germany. These all countries, they want permanent seat in this United Nations Security Council. Now, why it is so important to have permanent seat in United Nations Security Council? Because these people have a power that is called as veto power. Okay, these people have a power called as veto power. Suppose if there are 5 members here, okay, and suppose if I want to take an action, that is, I want to declare war on a country, that is Libya. Suppose in I am giving an example, there is problem in Libya, so I want to declare war on Libya. So now what happens? If this country is telling yes, if this country yes, yes and yes, but one country is telling no among these 5 nations, okay, among these 5 nations, even if one country is telling no, this bill will be cancelled. That means there won't be any war. That's the power of this veto power. Even if one country is telling no, okay, it will be failed to pass. That means there won't be any action, something like that. That's the power of Libya. This what we say, veto power. Okay, so keep in mind from United Nations Security Council. Coming to the next, you have very very important, that is called as BRICS. Okay, BRICS. BRICS is very close to our heart because B stands for Brazil, R stands for Russia, I stands for India, C stands for China, and S stands for South Africa. Okay, so if you see this carefully, these are all nations, okay, except Russia. If you see, these are all developing nations which are going to be developed soon, okay, developed soon. So now all these nations, they are having a grouping, and they are having some plan, like, they are having their own bank, okay, and every year they have a meeting. 20 means 20 countries. So based, 7 countries will have a meeting called as G7. Another top countries, G20, they will have their meeting. This way these global countries will be there. Now every time what happens, these countries make decisions, and countries like India, China, South Africa and Brazil, they are left out. So in order to counterattack this, these people, they started Brazil, Africa. This is called as BRICS. Okay, the last country to join is South Africa. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. Next, if you after this, you have one more thing called as BIMSTEC. Okay, now this is in Asia, very very important decision maker here. Now what is the full form of BIMSTEC? That is Bay of Bengal. You can just write it down if you have notebook. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral South Asian Association and Regional South Asian Association and Regional Cooperation. Okay, regional cooperation. Got it? South Asian Association and Regional Cooperation. This you have to keep in mind. Okay. Now what is this SARC? Okay, this SARC was started in Bangladesh, in Dhaka. Okay, it was started in Bangladesh, in Dhaka. And where is the headquarters? The headquarters is in Kathmandu, Nepal. Today. Okay, Kathmandu. Kathmandu is capital of Nepal, and today if you see, the headquarter is in Kathmandu. And now this is a very burning topic between India and Pakistan. Okay, this is a burning topic between India and Pakistan. Why? Because India, after the attack of Pulwama, okay, after the Pulwama attack, India strongly condemned this attack and requested all the SARC members not to allow this Pakistan to host any meeting. Okay, there was a new meeting to be held in Islamabad for this SARC. Okay, every year this meeting will be in different places of different nations, the members of SARC nations. Okay, but after this Pulwama attack, the next meeting was in Islamabad. India boycotted it and requested the other nation not to participate in this. Okay, so from that time the SARC meeting has not taken place. Okay, so this is what is important. You have to keep in mind the headquarters, where it is and where it was started. In exam, that is Combined Defense Service exam, this question was asked. Okay, this question was asked. SARC nation organization was started in which place? They asked the origin of SARC. Okay, and they have given both the option. Kathmandu was also given and Dhaka was also given. Okay, so it is so close that it was started in Dhaka, but the headquarter is in Kathmandu. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. So you have another thing that is called as ASEAN. Okay, you have another thing that is called as ASEAN Association. I'll write the complete thing. Association of Southeast Southeast Asian nation. Okay, Association of Southeast Asian nation. India during 1992 and 1993 had planned to look east policy. Okay, India had planned something called as look east policy. So according to this look east policy, India wanted to develop trade. Okay, develop trade along with the countries, that is Vietnam, okay, Cambodia, okay, all these country, Indonesia, Philippines, okay, so all these nations are member of Association of Southeast Asian Nation, and we wanted to have trade with them. So in 1990s, late 1990s, there was a policy, that is look east policy. Now recently we have started something called as act east policy, like that. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Now where is the headquarters of ASEAN? The headquarters of ASEAN is in Jakarta. And what is Jakarta? It is the capital of Indonesia. Jakarta is capital of Indonesia. Okay. Jakarta is capital of Indonesia. Maybe something. Yeah, maybe network problem, but the video is like recorded. You can just keep watching. You can just keep watching. I'll tell you what happened. Just wait and see. Keep watching the video. Have patience. Okay. So we have discussed UNO. We have discussed SARC. Okay. We have discussed BIMSTEC. We have discussed United Nations Security Council, and we have discussed ASEAN. Okay, so these are the things we have discussed till now. Next, if you go, we will see something called as IAEA. This is a very important organization, and there is an Indian behind this brainchild. Now, what is the full form of this? International Atomic Energy Association. International Atomic Energy Association, IAEA. The headquarter is in a place called as Vienna. The headquarter is in a place called as Vienna. And why? What is the duty of this? This is a regulating body which will be looking over the nuclear material, okay, nuclear fuel used by various nations. It is going to stop any nuclear weapons or something like that. Okay, now who was the person behind this? There was a person called as Homi Jahangir Baba. Okay, Homi Jahangir Baba is the person behind it, and he is called as father of nuclear research. And here in India you have the first nuclear reactor in the name of Homi Jahangir Baba, that is BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center, and this is in Trombay. This is in Trombay. Okay. Okay. So next, IAEA, International Atomic Energy Association. This I think you have understood what is this IAEA. And next, the last important thing is called as NAM. Okay, NAM. What is this NAM? Non-alignment movement. Non-alignment movement. It is very very important, and this is after World War II. What happens after World War II? We saw that there is something called as UNO, but from 1945 to 1990, okay, from 1945 to 1990, there was something called as Cold War. Okay, there was something called as Cold War, and this Cold War was between USA and USSR. Okay, what these countries used to do, whichever small countries got independence, okay, whichever small countries got independence, they were either joining USA or either joining USSR. Okay, they were joining USA or USSR. So in this time what happened, countries like Egypt, okay, then you have country like India and Yugoslovakia. Okay, this country leaders, okay, it was Egypt leader Abdel Nasser. Abdel Nasser is the person who gave this idea. Then the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Yugoslavian leader. All these three leaders came together and they told, we are neither joining USA and neither joining USSR. Okay, we are neither joining USA or joining USSR. And they started to start something. They decided to start something called as NAM, that is called as non-alignment movement. And this is how this thing took place. And till 1990, till the Cold War got over, it was a very important organization. Okay friends, so this is what expected questions will be there for your examination. If you have any doubt, you can just message us on 7598486430. This is our WhatsApp number. You can just message on this number. Today maybe there is internet problem here. Okay, you can just message here, we'll clear your doubt. Okay, so these questions like headquarters, the place where it is, when it was formed, are expected questions in your examinations. Okay, tomorrow we'll come up with a new topic like environmental impact or environmental organization. Okay, environmental pacts. Okay, you have Kyoto protocol or something like that. Tomorrow we'll be seeing that. So see you then. Until then, see you next time. Bye. Have a nice day. Good night.